My name is Reinhard Schaler, and I'm the CEO and founder of the Saol Foundation, Life and Living with a Severe Acquired Brain Injury. I'm accompanied today by Mr. Oran O'Houlihan, Senior Physiotherapist and Interim Clinical Lead of the Saol Foundation, Mr. Joe Grogan from Galway, Trustee of the Saol Foundation and father of Shane Grogan, who suffered a severe acquired brain injury in an unprovoked attack in 2012 when he was 22 years old. We will be speaking to you on behalf of a group of people who, because of their injuries, can no longer speak for themselves. They have been left behind as hopeless cases, not curable and not worth the effort. But they have a passion for life, a passion to be active, to seek new experiences and healthy living. They would rather live. And this is why we have established the Saol Foundation. The foundation is inspired by our son, Reinhard Schaler, who was hit by a truck in 2013 when he was cycling to work on Cape Cod, and nobody was ever prosecuted. The Saol Foundation Centre opened its doors in January 2020 for its 3-year pilot demonstrator phase. In January 2022, we presented a midterm review of the pilot demonstrator phase and proposed a fully specified and costed implementation phase from 2023 to 2027 with a national centre and countrywide satellite centres to the HSE. The HSE commissioned a review by 3 independent international experts who published their report and recommendations in February 2023. This report found that the service was necessary, that it was effectively delivered by the Saol Foundation, that it should be expanded in terms of scope and geography, and that it could position Ireland internationally as a leader in the delivery of this kind of disability services. In its country-based centre, the Saol Foundation offers a holistic service for the body, mind and soul of its clients. Total funding for the 3-year pilot demonstrator project aimed at 3 to 5 families. And the funding was €1.5 million. In 2023, the total running costs were €570,000 for 28 clients, with a current weekly delivery of a total of just over 40 hours, and this year it's going to be a total of 160 hours by just under 5 full-time equivalent practitioners and around 2 whole-time equivalent support staff. The foundation requested a budget of €880,000 for 2024 this year to allow it to start implementing some of the recommendations of the 2023 HSE report. It was offered just €600,000 by the HSE, in effect a decrease in funding. To date, the 2024 service arrangement has not been signed, as there have been ongoing discussions about the budget allocation since May 2023, last year. In our first discussion about the lack of services for people with a severe acquired brain injury on RTE Radio 1's late debate in March 2014, one of Ireland's leading neurologists said to us, "I understand your personal tragedy, but you need to understand that a health system with limited resources has to invest these resources in patients who have a reasonable chance of a meaningful recovery." A rehabilitation nurse who asked about our son's accident concluded, standing right beside his bed, it might have been better had he died. The first question by a newer nurse was, which nursing home is he going to go to? When Pádraig started to move his legs more actively but with little control in October 2018, we brought him to the A&E as we suspected that he was pushing the ball at the end of his femur out of the socket. In 2019, he was suffering so much pain that he couldn't sleep and was rapidly losing weight. He was referred to an orthopedic consultant, and this appointment finally came through in May 2022, 2.5 years, 3 years later. In the meantime, fearing for his life, we desperately pleaded for help. No help was offered. Eventually, at the height of the first COVID lockdown in June 2020, we drove to Germany, where Pádraig was admitted to and successfully treated in an orthopedic clinic in Munich using a minimally invasive procedure called percutaneous myofasciotomy, followed by a period in a specialized therapy center. The consultants who treated Pádraig in 2020 are now philanthropically involved in developing our services. They have seen and helped several of our clients, both in Germany and in Ireland. It is national policy to cease admission of under 65s to nursing homes. In continuing to do so, Ireland is failing in its obligations under the UNCRPD Article 26 to maintain maximum independence and to support participation and inclusion in the community and all aspects of society, as close as possible to their own communities, including in rural areas. And Saol as a day service provides the supports and services to enable Ireland to fulfil these human rights obligations. Services should start with the most in need and not end before they get to them. Encouraged by the HSE, we proposed Chuck on Saol, the National Centre for Life and Living with a severe acquired brain injury, and submitted the proposal to the HSE and the Minister for Disability in June 2023. We propose 6 regional services and the national hub to support these. The Sustainable Development Goals call on governments to leave no one behind. And Saol services is how we can fulfill this obligation for people with a severe acquired brain injury. And so far we have established, and we are very proud of this, enthusiastic support by the Minister of State, Anne Rabbitte. We have a letter of comfort by Dublin City Council for land in Ballymun, with expressions of support for 2 hubs of the centre from the Chief Officer of CHO9, with qualified support for the remaining 2 hubs and no satellite centres. We have strong philanthropic planning and design group with 6 of Ireland's largest architectural, planning, engineering and legal firms who aim to submit planning permission and tenders for a design build of the proposed development at the beginning of December. And we have a high-profile international clinical governance committee to guarantee regulatory compliance of Chuck on Saol's current and planned services, temporary assisted living and respite in particular. This project offers a golden opportunity to the HSE and the nation to create a long overdue national centre with international visibility for people who have so far been left behind. Current national EU and international legislation and conventions, including Article 26 of the UNCRPD, as well as new and emergent scientific and medical evidence, and not least, plain human decency, demand that they do. Ireland can fulfill its obligations under Article 26 of the UNCRPD by providing the Saol Foundation with an adequate 2024 budget to support its expanding services as recommended in the 2023 HSE report. Funding for Chuck on Saol in the HSE 2025 capital plan, and new revenue funding for the delivery of additional services, including respite, transitional living, social, clinical, and regional satellite centres. In summary, the HSE supported us to pilot the Saol Foundation service. Through difficult times, including COVID, we provided a service addressing an unmet need for perhaps the most marginalised group of people in the country. The HSE commissioned an independent evaluation of the service and subsequently recommended expansion. You've heard our plans for expansion. Please support us now by adding your strong voices to those of the independent evaluators. Please support our request for the necessary funding to do what is necessary and what Article 26 of the UNCRPD calls for. This is the time for deputies and especially ministers and the Taoiseach to take decisive leadership and act. We cannot allow this opportunity to lose momentum and die a slow death, because for our injured family members, this is literally a matter of life and death. Thank you.
Thank you very much.